Gonna take a sentimental journey, gonna set my heart at ease, gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Got my bag, I got my reservation, spent each dime I could afford, like a child in wild anticipation, long to hear that all aboard 7. That's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. I wanna go back home, way down to Nashville. Wanna go back home. Do you know why I miss the folks I love? Ma's home cooking, sitting round the fire at a catfish fry. I miss them.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far, as night you opened and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they hung the star. Let's go on with the show.
Costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, audience that lifts you when you're down. The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff who escorts you out of town. The opening when your heart beats like a drum. The closing when the customers don't come.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Came in quickly before the show has started, that your favorite uncle died at dawn. Talk about that your mind body parted, you're broken hearted, but you go on. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Even with a turkey that you know will fold, you may be stranded out in the cold. Still you wouldn't trade it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show.
Are you ready?
As soon as I get my hat, dearie.
Well, hurry up, Molly. This is the most important meeting since I've been president of the Chamber of Commerce. Where's my speech?
It's in your portfolio.
Yeah, I know, but where's my portfolio? Oh, I know. It's right here in the hall closet. Straighten out this closet one of these days.
Now, some of you remember that, don't you? Some of you remember Fibber McGee and Molly. And some of you remember the 40s. But even if you don't, even if you're not quite that vintage, there were a lot of great songs back in the 40s that I know all of you know, and some of them I'm sure are your favorite tunes. And it's our hope tonight that when you leave here, they'll still be your favorite tunes after you hear what we've done to them. All of the songs we're going to do tonight, except with one exception, are from the 1940s, so sing along when you can. And who better to get us started? Yes, they're back with us again this year with their big hit from 1943. It's Patty, Maxine, Laverne, the Andrews Sisters.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army, a blowin' reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted the band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot-dilly-a toot, he blows it 8 to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes the company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie-woogie bugle, he was busy as a bzzz bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump 8 to the bar. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Toot-toot-toot-toot-da-da, toot-da-da, toot-toot, he blows it 8 to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with him. The company jumps when he plays reveille. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. To sleep with boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bright. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really breaks it up when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Well, I need a little something of noise here, but I'm going to make my own. You guys know RP3, I believe. Is RP3 around here? By golly. Yes, he is. He is probably my favorite mailman. I think you all know him. And the other day, he was doing his route. He'd been out it for about a half a day. It was getting close to lunch. And when he went in front of this farmhouse, a cat ran across the road in front of him. He just flattened it. I mean, he creamed his cat. And, well, he felt pretty bad about it, so he decided he better go back and say something. So he turned the car around, went back to the farmhouse, and went up and knocked on it. And the housewife came to the door, and he says, "Ma'am," I'm awful sorry. He says, "When I was driving by your house, this cat ran by, and I hit it, and I assume it's yours." He says, "I really feel bad. I know this is hard news." And the lady says, "How do you know it was my cat? What it looked like?" And RP3 said, and this lady goes, "No, no, no, you awful man. That's not what I meant. I meant, what did he look like before you hit him?"
Pleasant Lake High School in the 1940s, principal here was Orly Fee, and the trustee was Charlie Gilbert. Now, we have two Lions members who were in those 40 years. Dean Wolf served in the U.S. Armed Forces, Army. Richard Dodge served in the Air Force. So the class of 40s here in Pleasant Lake, there's a lot of men who went from this area to the service. WW2 brought on rationing, as Neil talked about. Women went to work in the factories. Rosie the Riveter got famous. 1945, April, FDR died. 1945, May 8th, VE Day, Harry S. Truman. Reader's Digest back then didn't run many ads, but I found a little phrase from their digest. It said, one Army hospital, one nurse to another. There's some dangerous fellas around here. He said they're getting well. Now there was another guy in that era, Kilroy. Everybody remember Kilroy? Some of you will. Kilroy was here, Kilroy did this, Kilroy did that. Well, anyway, James J. Kilroy was a ship inspector in the shipyards. And every time that he would inspect, he would put his name on the hull or wherever he was inspecting on the ship. Well, the soldiers picked that up, and so at that point is how we become known as Kilroy was here.
Haven't you ever seen a lady before, Abe? So many people out here tonight, and so many of you I know, but it's been forever since I've seen you. Well, there's someone I know. You got to forgive me. I have a cold. I sound more like a longshoreman, but play along with me. Well, there's Fred. Do you remember the things that we used to do? Well, they're illegal in 39 of our 40 states now. And there's my dearest friend in the world, Rosabelle. Oh, what a dear she is. Got a mouth like a sailor, though. Spent her whole father's inheritance. To say that she spends money like a sailor, a drunken sailor, would be an insult to a drunken sailor.
You forgot it, didn't you?
I forgot it. And that was the best part of the whole thing.
Here I am.
Just talk amongst yourselves. That's the one. She is my best friend in the entire world, but I would not trust her with a secret because her mouth runs like the flapperona. Come in. Well, 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 look who's here. I haven't seen you in many a year.
If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band, grandest band in the land. Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band and spread the welcome mat for you. Oh, I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter. Grab a chair and fill your platter and dig, dig, dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, hired a band. Goodness sakes, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Had you dropped me a letter, I'd have hired a band,
what evil lurks in the hearts of men. The shadow knows.
Yeah, remember that one, too, don't you? You know, in the 40s, there were a couple people who were big in entertainment. One of them was Indiana's own Hoagie Carmichael, composer of my favorite song, Stardust, and he was in the movies, too. And there was a ukulele-playing radio announcer, Arthur Godfrey. And they both had, surprisingly enough, single hit songs in the 40s that were kind of novelty tunes. They weren't regular songs. And surprisingly, they both were about the same kind of topic. And they were, by today's standards, a little bit politically incorrect, which is why we're going to do them. Makeup.
I got a gal who's mighty sweet, big blue eyes and tiny feet. Her name is Rosa Bell McGee, and she tips the scales at 3030 OG. When you grant her out, the gal's so big and fat, when you go to Harvard, you don't know where you're at. You got to take a piece of chalk in your hand, chalk away, see where you began one day. I was a hugging and a chalking and a chalking and a hugging away. When I met another fellow with some chalk in his hand, coming around the other way, over the mountains, coming around the other way. Oh gee, but ain't it grand to have a gal so big and fat that when you go to hug her, you don't know where you're at. You have to take a piece of chalk in your hand and hug away to see where you began one day. I was a hugging and a chalking and a chalking and a hugging away. When I met another fellow with some chalk in his hand, coming around the other way, over the mountains, coming around the other way. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat for me, she's too fat for me. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. I get dizzy, I get numbo when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat for me, she's too fat for me. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. I get dizzy, I get numbo when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat for me, she's too fat for me. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me.
But she's just right for me.
I got the music, the band has begun. The Pennsylvania polka. Here we got your partner and join in the fun. The Pennsylvania polka. It started in Scranton, it's now #1. It's about to entertain ya. Everybody has opinion. Do the polka from Pennsylvania. While they're dancing, every
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Fort Custer, Michigan, we bring you our master of ceremonies, a man who has used all the coupons in his ration book of comedy, Jack Benny.
I'm not Jack Benny, but from Redneck Ridge, Fat Freddy. Where's Fat Freddy?
Sorry, they told me to come from the other side.
Okay.
Where's my lead guitarist here?
There you go.
Are you ready, Uncle Walt?
Is this your best outfit, Walt?
I didn't laugh at you when you came in.
B.
B?
B.
Is it all right if I practice once?
Tell me when.
Close enough.
But, yeah, well,
Here we go.
I've never been able to play this, so why should it be any different tonight?
Put another log on the fire. Cook me up some bacon and some beans. Go out to the car and change the tires. Wash my socks and sew my old blue jeans. Come on, baby, you can fill my pipe and then go fetch my slippers. Boil me up another pot of tea. Then put another log on the fire. Come and tell me why you're leaving me. Now don't I let you wash the car on Sundays? Don't I warn you when you're getting fat? Ain't I gonna take you fishing with me someday? Well, a man can't love a woman more than that. Ain't I always nice to your kid sister? Don't I take her driving every night? So sit here by my feet, 'cause I like you when you're sweet, and you know that it ain't feminine to fight. So put another log on the fire. Cook me up some bacon and some beans. Go out to the car, lift it up and change the tires. Wash my socks and sew my old blue jeans. Come on, baby, you can fill my pipe and then go fetch my slippers. Boil me up another pot of tea. So sit here by my feet, 'cause I like you when you're sweet, and you know it ain't feminine to fight. My wife had a birthday last week, and she said, "Sweetie," she said, "I want you to get me something shiny and bright that goes from 0 to 150 in less than 3 seconds." So I went out to Walmart and I bought a new set of bathroom scales. And that's when the fight started.
You know, I know I'm old, but you know, modern music just doesn't get it for me. You can't understand what they're saying; it's too loud. And even if you could understand what they're saying, would you want to hear it? I'm not sure about that. Songs in the 40s. Now, songs in the 40s, those were great songs. Those songs told a story. Those songs tugged at your heart. Those songs had lyrics that really meant something. Like this song.
Oh, maresy notes and nosy notes and little lambsy divey, a diddly divey too, wouldn't you? Oh, maresy notes and nosy notes and little lambsy divey, a diddly divey too, wouldn't you? If the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit jumbled and jivey, sing maresy notes and nosy notes and little lambsy divey. Oh, maresy notes and nosy notes and little lambsy divey, a diddly divey too, wouldn't you? A kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? A kiddly divey too, wouldn't you?
Now, I fooled you on that one. But this song, this one really has some meaning. Listen to the lyrics on this and see if you remember.
Say, Amos, this seems like Sunday.
Yeah, well, it is Sunday. You see, Andy, we is on the radio now every Sunday on CBS for Rinso.
That's right. Rinso, the new Rinso with Solium, brings you the Amos and Andy Show.
Holy mackerel there, Andy. That takes us back quite a ways. This next song's going to take you back, too. Sentimental Journey was written in late 1994, and it was written by Les Brown and, did I say 84? 44. And it was written by Les Brown and Ben Homer. And it cleared it up to the charts in 1945 when it was done by Doris Day and backed up with Les Brown and his band of renown. It spent 23 weeks there at the top of the charts. Did #1 up through there. And the European soldiers, when they were coming home, all the servicemen from that area, a big portion of them said Sentimental Journey was their theme song. Here we have Ron Smith.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. I'm gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna take a sentimental journey. Just new old memories. Got my bag, I got my reservation. Spent each dime I could afford. Like a child with wild anticipation, I long to hear that all aboard. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. I never thought my heart would be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. I never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? I'm gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home.
Carnation Evaporated Milk presents the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show.
Well, let's see now. I was out the other day in my garden. You know how nice the weather has been. And by golly, I was all bent over and doing some work in there and heard my neighbors come out, Ann and Lee. They got out and they were sitting on the porch, and I think they were just kind of deciding what they were going to do that morning. And I hear Ann saying to Lee, she goes, what you going to do today, hon? And Lee goes, nothing. And she says, you did that yesterday. He says, I wasn't finished.
I'm going to try. For this show, I have never been more unprepared, and this is all about you. We want you all to laugh. And my goal is to have one of you laugh, but it's not you, it's him. But anyway, I'm really unprepared, and I am just as nervous as a whole bunch of kids on test day at school. And I think the whole circle is as nervous as I am. So last night on the walkthrough, we had an Irish priest come in, and he was to say a blessing for us so that everything would go well tonight. And you see how that went. But the first person he comes to is Ron, and he says, Ron, do you want to go to heaven? And Ron says, well, yeah. So the priest says, stand over there against that wall. And the next person he comes to is Max, and he says, Max, do you want to go to heaven? Well, yeah. Stand against the wall. So then he comes to Ralph. Do you want to go to heaven? And Ralph says, well, no, I don't. And the priest just couldn't believe it. He says, do you mean to tell me that when you die, you don't want to go to heaven? And Ralph says, well, yeah, when I die, I want to. I thought you were assembling a group to go now.
Don't do that. You'll just encourage him. Say it. It's great to see Ron Parker back in the sheriff's outfit, isn't it? You guys remember when he was the sheriff of Steuben County? Okay. Show of hands, how many of you were actually arrested by Ron Parker? Okay, how many of you would have been if you'd gotten caught? In 1943, Eleanor Roosevelt was touring islands in the Pacific that we had recaptured, visiting with the Marines, doing a goodwill tour. And in front of a large group of Marines, she told this joke. So the Marines were getting ready to leave Guadalcanal, and this officer was walking along. He sees this private sitting there, and the private looks very depressed and down. He says, what's wrong with you, son? He says, oh, I don't want to leave Guadalcanal yet. Haven't had a chance to shoot a Jap yet. The officer says, well, hey, there's still plenty of Japs hiding around the island. Here's what you do. You take your rifle, you go up there to that ridge, you hide out, and eventually you yell, to hell with Hirohito. That'll make some Jap mad, and he'll pop up, and you shoot him. Later in the day, the officer sees the same Marine still looking down, depressed. He says, what's the matter? Didn't you do what I told you? The guy says, oh, yes, sir, I sure did. I grabbed my rifle, I went for that ridge just like you told me, and I hid out, and I yelled, to hell with Hirohito. And just like you said, a Jap popped up. But then the Jap yelled, to hell with Roosevelt. And I just couldn't bring myself to shoot a fellow Republican.
There was this fella that fell in love with an opera singer, and he was nearsighted, but she was a good-looking gal to him, and so they hit it off and they got married. So they headed for bed that evening after the big day, and she took her wig off, took her glass eye out, her false teeth, and her wooden leg, and he just leaned back and said, oh, baby, baby, sing, sing, sing.
So anyways, I'm just minding my own business last weekend, watching the Colts play, and they beat Kansas City, which was pretty good, yeah. Anyways, I'm just flipping through the channels, and my wife walks in. She said, is there anything else on the television? I said, well, yeah, there's some dust.
Oh, man. So now to do one of the most famous and favorite songs from the 1940s. In fact, the biggest selling single record of all time. Here he is to do it for you himself, Bing Crosby.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white right. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Bing never sounded better, did he? We've got several teachers tonight. There's a couple up here on stage. I know there's several out there. One of them up here on stage was from my brother Galen and my era of going to school. He used to scare the daylights out of us. Turned out to be a nice guy, but in school he scared the daylights out of us. And one day Galen showed up to class and had Mr. Sauls, and he comes in and Mr. Sauls goes, "You're late again." He says, "Why are you always late?" Galen goes, "Well, Mr. Sauls, it's the sign." And Abe goes, "What sign?" He says, "The one up the street that says, 'School ahead, go slow.'"
So Dick Dodge was doing a little genealogical research, tracing the old family history, and he found that he had a cousin he didn't even know about who had been living for many, many years in France. So Dick got a hold of the guy and went over there to see him. And two old guys were having a lively conversation. Now, don't get me wrong, they weren't debating, but they were having a lively conversation about their ancestry and how they were related and whatnot. And Dick said, "So what did you do during the war?" And the old guy says, "Oh, that was a terrible time. I just tried to keep a low profile and stay out of the way. And it was tough. But I'll tell you something, Dick, I've never told anybody else. You're my only living relative. One night during the war, this beautiful young woman came to the door and asked me to hide her from the Germans. So we built a room for her up in the attic, and she stayed there." And Dick said, "Well, that was a wonderful, wonderful thing for you to do. Great humanity." He said, "Yes, but I've always felt a little guilty about it because in exchange for hiding her there, she provided me with favors." And Dick said, "Well, here you were, two young people thrown together like that, and it's logical that, maybe some romance would have happened." And the old guy says, "Well, I really appreciate that, Dick. I feel a lot better. But I got one question for you, Dick. Should I tell her that the war is over?"
Can't use it. I think we can.
Kevin, what's the point?
You got him. I think he got him.
Don't choke it. It's been through enough already.
My prize, chicken. Cook it.
The humanity of it all. I think that we need some medical attention for this chicken up here. Maybe a doctor, nurse, someone from PETA, I don't know. Or an ex-sheriff. That'll work fine. What do you think we should do with it?
Looks to me like we better cook it.
You don't think there's any chance of saving it?
Nope.
All right, well, let's cook it. Reminds me of something that's always puzzled mankind. Mr. Parker, why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know.
To prove to the possum it could be done. And it reminds me of another story that I have about Mr. Parker himself. There was a lawyer from Fort Wayne that had come up hunting on his property and had shot a chicken that flew over to Ron's side of the property. Lawyer comes over to get the chicken, and Ron says, "You're not coming on my property." Lawyer says, "I'm one of the best trial lawyers in the whole country. I'll sue you for everything you got." And Ron says, "Why don't we settle this with Pleasant Lake rules, the 3-kick rule?" Lawyer says, "Well, I never heard of that before." And Ron says, "It's real simple. I kick you 3 times, and then you kick me 3 times, and that goes on until one of us gives in." And the lawyer was a bit younger than him, so he said, "I'll go for it." So the first kick that Ron made was to his groin, the second to his stomach, the third one to his bottom, which pushed his face into the pasture. The lawyer was just steaming. He comes up, wipes himself off, and says, "All right, you old codger, I'll get you now." And Ron says, "That's all right, you can have the chicken."
We need more.
What do we need here, Ron?
We need some fire.
We need some fire. Bring us some more fire.
More fire.
I don't think that's enough to do it. Is that enough? What else do you need?
Well, more fire.
Well, bring us some more fire then, because if you need more time, I think Elton's saying, bring us more fire. Bring us some. That's it. You got to work with that one.
That's all you get. That's all we get.
Cook us some chicken.
All right. Well,
Is it done?
Let's stir this fire up.
Is it? Well, you better get it done. Better make something happen here pretty soon.
Well, probably I will. Just a matter of time for.
Well, I'd get it going pretty soon because they're falling asleep out here.
How did that get in there?
There you go.
She don't have it tethered. She got the tether on time.
I'm with him. I think I want the hamburger. This next song we're going to do is called Rag Mop, and it was written by Johnny Lee Wills and Deacon Anderson and was published in 1949. It was first released by the Ames Brothers, and it went to number 1 and spent 14 weeks on the charts. It was the last single to come off of a 78-speed album, and which was a landmark in itself. And also out of that era, there was a thing called the hepcaps. Now, that's a term from the 40s for either an admirer or a person who played jazz and swing. Also out of this era was a new type of clothing called a zoot suit. Well, we have our 2 hepcats in the circle singing Rag Mop.
I say M-O, M-O-P, M-O-P-P, mop, M-O-P-P, mop, 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 R. I say R-A, R-A-G, R-A-G-G, rag, R-A-G-G, M-O-P-P, rag mop, doo-doo-da-da, 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 R-A-G-G, M-O-P-P, rag mop. A, I say A-B, A-B-C, A-B-C-D, A-B-C-D-E, A-B-C-D-E-F-G-H-I. I say M-O, M-O-P, M-O-P-P, mop, M-O-P-P, mop, 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 R. I say R-A, R-A-G, R-A-G-G. Rag. R-A-G-G-M-O-P-P. Ragmop doo-doo-da-da. Ragmop doo-doo-da-da. Ragmop doo-doo-da-da. Ragmop doo-doo-da-da. Ragmop doo-doo-da-da. R-A-G-G-M-O-P-P. Ragmop.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother. Wasn't Henry, but it was Neil.
It's a grand night for singing. The moon is flying high, and somewhere a bird who is bound will be heard is throwing his heart at the sky. It's a grand night for singing. The stars are bright above. The earth is aglow, and to add to the show, I think I am falling in love. Falling, falling in love. Maybe it's more than the moon. Maybe it's more than the birds. Maybe it's more than the sight of the night and the light too lovely for words. Maybe it's more than the earth, shiny and silvery blue. Maybe the reason I'm feeling this way has something to do with you. It's a grand night for singing. The moon is flying high, and somewhere a bird who is bound he'll be heard is throwing his heart at the sky. It's a grand night for singing. The stars are bright above. The earth is aglow, and to add to the show, I think I am falling in love. Falling, falling in love.
Leroy. The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve.
Well, I heard a story tonight that I'm really uncomfortable in telling because it's about one of our Lions Club members, and I promised Abe, promised him that I wouldn't tell who it was. But he and his wife were making a trip to Chicago to see their grandchildren. They stop at a gas station. The attendant comes out and strikes up a conversation with this person and says, "Oh, nice day, isn't it?" The person says, "Yes, it is a nice day." His wife says, "What'd he say?" So Abe says, "He said it's a nice day." Then the attendant says, "Well, where are you going?" Abe says, "Well, we're going to Chicago to visit our grandchildren." His wife says, "What'd he say?" Abe says, "Well, I told him we're going to Chicago to visit our grandchildren." The attendant says, "Well, where are you from?" And Abe says, "We're from Pleasant Lake." The attendant says, "Oh, I dated the woman from Pleasant Lake once. Couldn't keep her mouth shut. She just yammered on the whole time. She was a terrible lover." Abe's wife says, "What'd he say?" Abe says, "He knows you."
Well, I think I'm a little safer with mine. There was this Indian that walks into a cafe, and he's got a shotgun in one hand, and he's got a bull buffalo in the other hand, and he goes up to the waiter and he says, "I want a cup of coffee." And the waiter says, "Sure, Chief, right away, coming right up." And he goes out, pours him a tall cup, brings it back in, gives it to the Indian, and he gulps it down, just gulps right down through it, turns with the shotgun, shoots the buffalo, mess everywhere, and then he walks out. And the next day, here he comes back in again, same routine, got the shotgun, got the buffalo on the other arm, and want coffee. And the waiter says, "Whoa, Chief," he says, "we're still cleaning up the mess that you left here yesterday." He says, "What in the heck was that all about?" And the Indian stands up proudly and says, applying for position in Congress, says, "Come in, drink coffee, shoot the bull, disappear, or leave mess for everybody and disappear."
Jack Armstrong.
Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy.
Me? Yeah. My wife's been after me for about a month and a half to mow the grass. I told her I got more important things to do, honey. You know, you got NF football on Sundays. We got the baseball playoffs. Got to make some beer. So the other day I went uptown and I come home and there she was sitting in the grass about up to here, and she's had a pair of scissors and she's clipping the grass. I looked at her and just kind of ignored her and went on in the house. Waited a little while and I came back out and I had a toothbrush. I handed it to her. I said, "Here, honey, you might as well sweep the driveway when you're done."
Best joke tonight.
Oh my! Well, you know there are those moments in your life that you have these sudden flashes. I never noticed that before. Why didn't I see that? It's obvious now that I think about it. I never noticed that before. In fact, like this, you know, I never noticed before how much Elvis Presley looked like Bing Crosby. Ladies and gentlemen, the King.
Thank you, Elton, for that fine introduction. Well, Bing did a Christmas song, but this is how you really do a Christmas song. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when that blue heartache starts hurting, you'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white. But I'll have a blue, 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 blue Christmas.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you.
Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when that blue heartache starts hurting, you'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white. But I'll have a blue, 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 blue Christmas. Is there any gals here that actually saw Elvis in person? If you are, you can come right up front here, and we'll dedicate the song to you fine ladies. Yeah, don't be shy. Oh, hey, there's a couple coming right here.
Here comes one or two.
Hey, Elvis.
All right.
There's two of them.
All
Two
right.
of them, Elvis.
All right.
Two of them. All right. It doesn't get any better than this. My God, Lord, have mercy.
How'd you get Meg up here?
This song here, Elvis did for his first movie, and the movie was.
There's a third one.
There we go. I think there's a fourth one over there. And
You're on your own, buddy.
the title of the movie is also this song, and we've never done it before, so we hope we do it well. Wait, give me that riff again.
He's
there,
a
Kathy.
liar, too.
You want to begin?
I will spend my whole life through loving you, just loving you. Winter, summer, springtime too. Loving you, loving you. There's no just where I go or what I do. You know that I'll always be loving you. Just you, and if I'm seen with someone new, don't be blue, don't you be blue. I'll be faithful, I'll be true, always true, true to you. There is only one for me, and you know who. You know that I'll always be loving you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, the king still has it, doesn't he? Ladies, we have our emergency medical staff standing by. In 1948, Harry Truman was elected to his own term as president, which came as quite a surprise to a lot of people. And no one was more surprised than his opponent, Thomas E. Dewey. In fact, the night of the election, Dewey was having dinner with his wife. He says, "Well, dear, soon you'll be sleeping with the President of the United States." Next morning at breakfast, it's clear that Dewey has lost. Mrs. Dewey leans over and says, "Tom, am I going to Washington or is Harry coming here?"
Life in the 40s was tough. Now, I was 7 years old in 1940 in the second grade, and you know, I don't remember the second grade.
You spent a lot of time in there.
They used to cook with stoves that they used wood in to burn. Kerosene, and then washing was fun. 2 tubs, a scrub board, and a hand crank wringer. And then you hung them on a yard, in the yard on the line, back by FDR's memorial. Remedies. there was Vicks Vapor Rub, Bayer Aspirin, castor oil. Did you know castor oil was good for coughs? Don't cough. In the barnyard, or at the barnyard, the feed people got into the business of making print sacks to put their feed in for the chickens. And so the mothers would get busy and make dresses for their daughters to ride to school on the bus with. One morning we had one big fight. Two girls got on with the same print sack. And then there was the soaps we used back then. Double Team Borax. And then there was Lifebuoy. Now, you all want to join with me and give Lifebuoy's song. B-O. Okay, B-O. Oh, you can do better than that. B-O. Thank you and have a good evening.
Really? Some of you know that I have 4 daughters that are just... You know that I have 4 daughters that are just the light of my life. And if I could remember their names, I'd tell them to you. But as a father, I want them to make wise decisions in everything. But I also want them to know that no matter the decision they make, I will remember them in buttons and bows.
East is east and west is west, and the wrong one I have chose. Let's go where the wind on where those hills and skies and buttons and bows, rhymes and things and buttons and bows. Don't carry me on this prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's go down to some big town where they love the gal by the cut of her clothes, and I'll stand out in buttons and bows. I love you in buckskin and strips that I homespun, but I love you longer, stronger, where your friends don't go down. My clothes denounce the buckboard bounce and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's bamboos for gals we kiss the and stands and buttons and shows. I'm all yours in buttons and bows. Give me Eastern trimming where women are women in high silk hose and peekaboo clothes and French perfume that rocks the room, and I'm all yours in buttons and bows. Buttons and bows. Buttons and bows.
The Green Hornet.
No, that is not the Green Hornet.
Where's Walter?
I don't know.
I thought you guys would take longer than that.
No, we're just out here waiting for Ron's joke to end.
You didn't get a thunderous applause or nothing.
Now, back in the 40s, when you pulled into a service station, you got service. Some guy came out and filled up your tank and wiped your windshield, checked your tires. Of course, you couldn't go far in the 40s. If you had one of those A ration stickers, you could only get 4 gallons of gas a week. And some of you probably got your start working at a gas station, pumping gas, maybe here in Pleasant Lake, Indiana. That's what this little song's about. Now me, I work at Fuller Super Service. We specialize in service all the way. And there's only one thing really bugs me. This big old kid in stripped down Model A. At Fuller Super Service, we do grease jobs. We fix 30, maybe 40 flats a day. And just about the time I get real busy, in comes that kid with his damned old Model A. He says, give me 50 cents worth of regular. Check my oil and water too, if you don't mind. Put some air in my tires, won't you, mister? And wipe my windshield too, if you got time. Last night I dreamed I died and went to heaven, to that big old Super Service in the sky. I'd be happy pumping gas there forever, for the angels in that sweet by and by. Now the pearly gates were just around the corner. I could see the new ones coming every day. I was changing plugs on Moses' magic carpet when up through the clouds came that Model A. He says, give me 50 cents worth of regular. Check my oil and water too, if you don't mind. Put some air in my tires, won't you, mister? Wipe my windshield too, if you got time. Put some air in my tires, won't you, mister? Wipe my windshield too, if you got time. Wipe my windshield too, if you got time.
Does everybody remember back in the 40s, it seems like a lot of cigarette smoking went on. There were Chesterfields, there was an advertisement. If you look in your program, there's an advertisement of Ronald Reagan smoking a Chesterfield. There's also an ad in there that had said more doctors smoked Camel cigarettes. Not going to happen today. There was Pall Malls, Lucky Strikes, Camels, Chesterfields, and this one. It'll be hard to top that. Are we ready?
I'm glad. Is there a fireman in the house?
Could you shut off the smoke alarm when it goes off?
So, here's my tribute to cigarette smoking. Now, I'm a feller with a heart of gold, the ways of a gentleman, I've been told, the kind of feller that wouldn't even harm a flea. But if me and a certain character met the guy that invented that cigarette, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Now, it ain't 'cause I don't smoke myself. I don't reckon they hinder your health. I've been smoking all my life and I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a petting party or a poker game. Everything's got to stop while they have a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, puff, puff it if you smoke yourself to death. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. At a poker game the other night, old Dame Fortune was a-doing me right. The kings and the queens, they just kept coming round. Now, I got a full and I bet 'em high, but my bluff didn't work on the certain guy. He just kept raising and laying that money down. Now, he'd raise me and I'd raise him. I was sweating blood, got to sink or swim, and I finally called and didn't even raise the bet. He said, "Ace is full, son, how about you?" And he said, "I'll tell you in a minute or two, because right now I got to have another cigarette." Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, puff, puff it if you smoke yourself to death. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. Now, the other night I had a date with the cutest little girl in the United States, a hybrid uptown fancy little dame. Now, she said she loved me, and it seemed to me that things were right about where they ought to be, so hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She was oh so far from a chunk of ice, our smooching party was going real nice, so help me Hannah, I think I'd have been there yet. So I gave her a kiss and a little squeeze, and she said, now Galen, just wait a minute please, because right now I just got to have another cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, puff, puff it if you smoke yourself to death. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make him wait, but you just gotta have another cigarette. Oh, you just gotta have another cigarette.
In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, what cigarette do you smoke, doctor? Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yeah?
Well, anyway, when putting the show together tonight, there were so many great songs from the 40s, we couldn't decide which ones to leave in, take out, and which ones to butcher, which ones to sing. So we decided we had to put in a few more of them, and so we're going to do a medley of great 40s tunes. You know these tunes, sing along with us. And to get us started, we have a real treat for you folks. To get us started on some great 40s tunes, we have the girls, Jeray, Jade, and Jenna.
My sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only love me too. But now you left me to love another, and you proved your love untrue. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Some bright morning, as life is o'er, I'll fly
taught them. They are family. They're my cousins. And I want to acknowledge the boys on the sound engineers back here. One is my grandson, and the other one is my nephew, and I think they're doing a bang-up job. I had it all screwed up for them, and I hope they got it straightened out. Thanks for helping us out, fellas.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to follow them. An old cowpoke went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yo, ghost riders in the sky.
Have I told you lately that I love you? Could I tell you once again somehow? Have I told with all my heart and soul how I adore you? Well, Walter, I'm telling you now, this heart would break in two if you refuse me. I'm no good without you anyhow. Have I told you lately that I love you? Well, darling, I'm telling you now.
Yes, us now. Up there now. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. An onion patch, an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. And all I do is cry all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. The air's so strong it takes my breath away. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. Oh, won't you come and play with me? What do you want to do first now? Oh, walk on the floor. Okay.
Yeah. I'm walking the floor over you. I can't sleep a wink, that is true. I'm hoping and praying as my heart breaks in two. Walking the floor over you. You can't be true, dear. There's nothing more to say. I trusted you, dear, hoping we'd find a way. Your kisses tell me that you and I are through, but I'll keep loving you, although you can't be true.
I know that someday you'll want me to want you. When I'm in love someday you'll want me to want you. When I am strong for somebody new. And though you don't want me now, I'll get along somehow. And then I won't want you.
I got lost. You want me to sing the regular words or not? Don't make a fool out of me again. Anytime. Where are we? Okay. Anytime you're feeling lonely, anytime you're feeling blue, anytime you feel downhearted, that will prove your love for me is true. Anytime you're thinking about me, that's the time I'll be thinking of you. So anytime you say you want me back again, that's the time I'll come back home to you.
Came in last night about 10:30. That baby mine, she wouldn't let me in. So move it on over, move it on over, move it on over, move it on over. Move over, old dog, 'cause the new dog's moving in. She changed the lock on our front door. Now my key don't fit no more. So scoot it on over, move it on over, tote it on over, move it on over. Move over, skinny dog, 'cause the fat dog's moving in. This doghouse here is mighty small, but it's better than no house at all. So pack it on over, move it on over, ease it on over, move it on over. Move over, little dog, 'cause the big dog's moving in. She told me not to play around, but I done let that deal go down. So ease it on over, move it on over, tote it on over, move it on over. Move over, nice dog, 'cause the bad dog's moving in.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife have parted. Gonna take a little stroll downtown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. We just couldn't leave those out. This next song reminds me of a joke. So there's this Irish girl, Mary, and Mary goes to see the priest. She says, "Oh, Father, there's terrible news, terrible news. My husband Seamus passed away last evening." And the priest says, "Oh, Mary, that is terrible. Tell me, did he have any last requests?" Last requests? Well, as a matter of fact, Father, he did. His last request was, "Mary, put down that gun." Now, in 1943, Al Dexter had a big hit with a song like that, and so did Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters a little later, and who better to get us started on it than Bing himself.
drinking beer in a cabaret. Was I having fun? Then one night she caught me right. Now I'm on the run.
Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing mama, lay that pistol down. Shrieking down my windshield, she hit me over the head. She cussed and cried, said I lied, and wished that I was dead. Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing mama, lay that pistol down. Drinking beer in a cabaret, dancing with a blonde. Till one night she shouted the light, and that gun was gone. Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing mama, lay that pistol down. See you every night, dear, I'll woo you every day. I'll be your regular daddy, put that gun away. Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing mama, lay that pistol down. Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing mama, lay that pistol down.
Now out there was old Dave Harpum, he always had his fun. But with some lead, Julie shot him dead, his party days are done.
Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing Julie, lay that pistol down. Lay that pistol down, babe, lay that pistol down. Pistol packing Julie, lay that pistol down.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit surprised to see you all still here. Well, you know, the 1940s had a lot of talent. Bing Crosby and Bob Hope and Jane Russell, and our next talent is exactly like them except for the talent and that he's not well known. But he is a very passionate person that has a very specific talent. Ladies and gentlemen, RP3.
And that very special talent's getting a pie shoved in my face.
I said I was sorry.
Are you all having a good time tonight? Not made for paving long roads. I ain't cut out to climb high line poles, but I'm pretty good at drinking beer. I'm not the type to work in a bank. I'm no good at slapping on paint. Don't have a knack for making motors crank, no. But I'm pretty good at drinking beer. So hand me one more, that's what I'm here for. I'm built for having a ball. I love the nightlife, I love my Bud Light. I like them cold and tall. I ain't much on mowing thick grass. I'm too slow for working too fast. I don't do windows, so mommy don't ask. I'm pretty good at drinking beer. A go-getter, maybe I'm not. I'm not known for doing it a lot. But I do my best work when the weather's hot. I'm pretty good at drinking beer. Hand me one more, that's what I'm here for. I'm built for having a ball. I love the nightlife, I love my Bud Light. I like them cold holes. I'm not made for paving long roads. I ain't cut out to climb high lime holes, but I'm pretty good at drinking beer. I'm pretty good at drinking beer. Thank you, Pleasant Lake.
Wow, that was something. Now, I want to thank my wardrobe manager for coming up here and setting me straight a little while ago. This could have had an X rating. But anyways, I want to tell you about a husband and wife that went shopping at Walmart. And they're in there, and they're looking around and doing a little bit of shopping here and there. And they stop in one of the aisles, and the husband picks up a case of Budweiser, and he sticks that into the cart. And his wife says, "What do you think you're doing?" And he says, "It's on sale." He says, 24 cans for $10. And his wife says, "We can't afford that. You put it back." So he does. And they go on a little farther around the store and looking around and come up into the makeup section. And she grabs a $20 jar of facial cream and sticks it in the basket. And he says, "What do you think you're doing?" "That's the $20 jar." And she says, "Well, it's for my looks. It makes me beautiful." And the husband says, "Look," he says, "I could have got a case of beer for $10, half the price."
Church burnt on Saturday night in a little southern town in Indiana, and the preacher decided that the only place he could have church in the morning would be in the local bar. So he runs down to the bar and he said to the bartender, "Could we use your establishment in the morning for services?" Bartender said, "I'd be glad to have you here." So the next morning, while the preacher goes down, he's arranging chairs, and Parrot sitting up behind the bar said, "Hey, hey, hey, new bartender, new bartender." About that time, here comes the choir in. He looks around and says, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." He said, "New chorus line, new chorus line." About that time, the congregation starts filing in. He looks around and says, "Hey, hey, hey, same old crowd, same old crowd."
I think I've told you about the stress that I've been under about the show and everything because of it. So tonight, it was really hectic, and we're trying to get ready for the show, and I was in the shower, and my wife had just gotten out of the shower, and she's standing there wrapped in nothing but what God made her in and a towel. And then the doorbell rang. And I said, "Well, you better get the doorbell." And she says, "I'm not getting the doorbell. I'm wrapped in a towel." And I said, "You better get the doorbell." So she got the doorbell, and it was Abe that was at the door. Abe looked at her in the towel and said, "I'll give you $800 if you drop the towel." Well, things have been a little bit tough for us, so Bridget thought about it for a bit and dropped the towel. After Abe stared for a couple of seconds, he put the towel back on. He gave her $800. She comes running upstairs and says, "You won't believe what happened." I said, "Well, who was at the door?" And she says, "Abe." I said, "Did he happen to give you the $800 that he owes me?"
Political joke, political joke. Now, you know what Will Rogers said about political jokes. There's nothing wrong with a political joke as long as you don't elect him to anything. 1948, Harry Truman's out campaigning for president. He's visiting a dairy farm up in Wisconsin. He's walking around looking at the farm, the farmers and the crowd's coming around. You remember Harry's kind of a short guy, and there was no place for him to stand so he could see everybody, and they could see him. Well, farmer pulls out his manure spreader and tosses a couple planks over it, and Harry gets up on there, and he's looking around. He says, "You know, in my political career, I've spoken from a lot of platforms before, but I've never spoken from the Republican platform before.
A couple of Christmases ago, I bought my mother-in-law a really nice gift. I got her a cemetery plot. So last year, I didn't buy her anything. I get home, and my wife says, "Why didn't you get my mom nothing?" I said, "Well, she didn't use the gift I got her last year."
We're getting ready to do a song that I haven't been able to do right since we started practicing this thing. So I'm hearing that there's some odds going on backstage of how I'm going to do. Galen, what are those odds?
Slim to none and more towards the none.
Yeah, I'll take it. I think I better get in on the action, too. Kathy, let's give this a go.
Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal with long funny ears. He kicks up at anything he hears. His back is brawny and his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you may grow up to be a mule. Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a pig? A pig is an animal with dirt on his face. His pen is a terrible disgrace. He ain't got no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and extremely rude. And by the way, if you're together or a fig, you may grow up to be a fig. Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a fish? A fish don't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. And to fool the people is his only thought. And though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But then if that sort of life is what you wish, you may grow up to be a fish. And all the monkeys aren't in a zoo. Every day you meet quite a few. And you see, it's all up to you. You can be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star. You could be swinging on a star.
You may join us. in
Granny,
this next-
Abner, I believe that's our ring.
I don't get long, I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot 'em down, store. This is Lum and Abner.
Okay. Next song we're going to sing is Dear Hearts and Gentle People. Would you like to sing along? Just remember, we live in the greatest place on earth.
I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. They read the good book from Friday till Monday. That's how the weekend goes. I got a dream house I'll build there one day, with picket fence and rambling road. a trip I'd like to take, and it's back to Pleasant Lake, where your friendly neighbors smile and say hello, hello. It's a pleasure and a treat to meander down the street. That's why I want the whole wide world to know I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown. Because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. They read the good book from High till Monday. That's how the weekend goes. I've got a dream house I'll build there one day with picket fence and rambling road. I feel so welcome each time that I return, that my happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live and love in my hometown. Who live and love in my hometown.
We hope you enjoyed our show tonight, and we are dedicating this show to the great generation, those brave men and women that gave so much so we can have our freedom, the wives, the mothers, the sisters that went to the post office hoping that they would not be getting a letter to the War Department. Thank you very much, and we're so glad that you gave us this, my country.
This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge thee my allegiance, America the bold, for this is my country to have and to hold. What difference if I hail from north or south, or from the east or west? My heart is filled with love for all of these. I only know I swell with pride from deep within my breast. I thrill to see Old Glory take the breeze. This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge thee my allegiance, America the bold, for this is my country to have and to hold. With hand upon my heart, I thank the Lord for this my native land. For all I love is here within her gates. My soul is rooted deeply in the soil on which I stand. For these are mine, my own United States. This is my country, land of my choice. This is my country, hear my proud voice. I pledge thee my allegiance, America
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still shining bright through the sycamores for me. The new mown hay sends all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, then I long for my Indiana home. Be kind to your web-footed friends, for a duck may be somebody's mother. You may think that this is the end, and it is.
Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old